Then after 70 minutes, well, things got a little bit more complicated. My name is Perna, and I love to create content. I've done day in the lives of celebrities, routines of champions, and then documented experiments on myself to improve my own routine. Like one time I did 10 days of cold showers, which is still a habit I do every single day since that video 2 years ago. But if you do speak to anyone in the industry, they'll probably tell you the same thing. I love my job, but it's hard to switch off. Now, I'm sure many other occupations can relate to that, but as someone who works so closely in social media, it's so easy to get lost in the world of likes, comments, metrics, and endless validation. I personally began to notice an over-reliance on my phone. I checked my phone at the slightest trace of boredom. I would listen out for notifications, and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by a loud mental chatter that only gets louder until it blends into the background of life. And I get so used to it that I begin to forget what it's like to experience something as simple as silence. Is this something we need, or is this just a fad? Well, I wanted to find out for myself, so today we're going to see what happens after 10 days of ongoing sensory deprivation. I forgot to tell you, I booked me a float and then you're in there with me doing this. And you can't speak
you're going to be naked though.
Yeah, the people are in for a treat. This is day one at a place called the Private Sea, where we're having my first sensory deprivation experience. Tom. Hi, and I've seen Tom. The idea was to do like 2 a week for 2 weeks, and then I went, I want to cram maybe some into, I might do like 4 or 5 in 10 days, and I want to kind of hyper experience it and just see if I notice anything from like day 1 to day 10 on just like overall how I feel in the day, just little things I might notice.
90 for me is like my sweet spot.
Really? So you did 90?
Loves, I've done 7 hours and 15.
What?
Yeah.
7 hours?
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend that one just yet. Maybe.
No, yeah, we'll see if we got after 10 days. In here as well, like what is that and what is in the salts? Like what is the...
So each tank's 700 litres of water and then about 350 kilos of Epsom salts.
Wow, okay.
Which is magnesium sulfate. You're just in so much of it here.
Yeah, that's so good.
Everything, you know.
Okay, so you guys heard him. First flight gone down. And we'll get right back to the float, guys, but first I just want to give a quick shout out to our brand of the comfiest house clothes in the market, Slouch Potatoes. So guys, if you've never worn this before, today's your lucky day. You get 20% off if you use the code FLOAT at checkout.
Whoa, 20%? No way.
20% off. Why?
That's way too much. You're gonna go broke if you give them for 20% off.
But if they haven't tried it, they need to know how comfy it is. Like, we can do that.
Zach, I'm sorry, but that's not fucking happening.
So that's FLOAT for 20% off. Link in the description. I'm a bit scared. It's kind of warm. I'm a little bit scared. Let's go. So at this point, there is no sensory information. So your brain that's used to searching all the time for stimulus has nothing. And the idea is that it kind of exposes what's behind the distractions.
Interestingly enough, it starts to promote our own DMT-like experience. We see what's in the default mode network now comes online. We're able to look at more introspective analysis and see what was just behind the curtain that we didn't notice was there, and now that comes onto the stage. Session 1. It took a while to calm down. My mind went to weird places. Only after 45 minutes did I experience pure quiet. I was doing these ones like that.
Oh, really?
For basically all of it like that, yeah. That was nice. Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna just keep writing those little journals every time I do it as well. Excuse the mess in the background. Day 2. Last night I actually slept like a baby, not gonna lie. It was really good. It could be a coincidence, but I did have a really good sleep. Current stress levels this morning, pretty chilled. I figured it would be a good idea to do at least some kind of empirical measure of stress levels instead of just subjective like analysis. So, blood pressure machine. In it, it measures the pressure of one's blood. Thanks, Jamie Oliver. I'm feeling a little bit stressed today. Maybe it's the haircut. Yeah. When you get a fucked up haircut, it makes you more stressed. So this could be an outlier, but let's see. This was my blood pressure before. And this was my blood pressure after. So it definitely reduced, but I feel like you need more time to test stuff like that. Like that could be attributed to almost anything else. It's not very accurate. If I could do it all again, I would have measured it in the weeks leading up to this and then in the weeks following. But is what it is. Do you reckon you could pass a polygraph test on purpose? Like lying and pass it?
No. Is your favorite color blue? Yes. Is your penis bigger than 3 centimeters?
Then went back for my 4th float, and I spoke to the owner about his experience floating.
I'll jump in the tank and do whatever I do.
Just see how.
It's an hour, sometimes it's 2.5 hours.
Right,
sometimes
okay.
It's 3 hours.
And he suggested I do 90 minutes instead of 60.
That first hour you're sort of going, am I chilling out?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get past that stage, it becomes more of a blissful state as opposed to just floating in water and let the mind go. The 90-minute will sort of supersede all that, and just once you pass that hour, if you just let it go, it should just take you to that little blissful state.
Like, it sounded great. So I jumped in and had a great float for the first 60 minutes. Then after 70 minutes, well, things got a little bit more complicated. It was hard. I just started getting restless. I thought, what am I doing here? How long's it been? But stayed in there. I took a little breather and I finished the job.
Whew, that was hard, not gonna lie. I literally, at like 70 minutes in, I'm like, fuck, what year is it? And then I just felt like I had to get out. Could have been a breathing thing. Couldn't really get a good deep breath in. Maybe my ribs are out or something, because I just couldn't get a good deep breath in. But I was like, I need to know the time. So I checked also. I had to pee, so that made it a lot more uncomfortable. So I got out, checked the time, saw how much longer I'd left, which was like I had another 15 to go. So I was like, nah, I got to get back in. So got my naked, slimy ass back in there, and just waited it out. And you do find a bit of peace, like going from light, and then when you shut the door again, you kind of like, oh yeah, that's good. That's kind of nice. Like, I'm enjoying that bit of that escape lately, like just that time away from literally everything. It's kind of nice. When you view it as like a chore, it's weird, but if you view it as just something you get to do, like you get to be away from literally all the stimulus you're so used to being surrounded by every single day, that's kind of nice.
Because even though at this point the floats were getting easier, it was easier for my mind to switch off and kind of ease into it and kick back. I could see there was a lot of practice to be had still. Okay, so 5th float. This will make it 5 floats within 10 days, which is a float every other day. So very hyper-concentrated dose of sensory deprivation. Apparently different times of the day, better for floating, which makes sense. So like if you're floating at like midday and you're in the middle of work, it's quite hard to switch off and get into the routine of just like chilling. Whereas if it's like end of the day, maybe you've had a big day and you want to switch off, very different. So today is a little bit later, which I think is a bit better. I'm up early this morning, so I'm actually excited to kind of get in there and just go. Whereas last time it actually took a while to get in there, calm down, and just sit through it. Just going 60 minutes now, but I really want to try one really early in the morning, like first thing. But it just doesn't really fit the schedule. So usually first thing I get up, caffeinate, go crazy, but wanting to try, if you guys have tried that before, let me know your thoughts on doing it like first thing in the morning, no caffeine, nothing like that. The more caffeine you have, the worse it is, because you're like awake and buzzing and thinking about it. You really want to be in a state of like, I'd say just relaxation or at least tiredness. So I'm semi there now. I've had a big day, so I'm keen to go float once again.
Excited for it.
It feels good after a day of doing shit, being productive and actually getting shit done, and then you can go, oh, now I can just switch off and just chill.
Forces you to meditate, kind of. Except I didn't piss when I first got in there. The guy walked me through going, hey mate, this is your bath, you hop in. I'm going, oh yeah, nice. And then he goes,
You need a toilet?
yeah, I went, nah. He goes, you sure? I went, nah.
What was your floating technique? Your arms can't get that wide, can they?
Yeah, relatively.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they're like that, yeah.
I went to put my arm up to see if I could see my hand, and the water dripped in my eye and mouth, and it was stinging like fuck.
So salty.
I'm pretty excited though.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, this time I'm gonna piss before I go in.
I just piss when you're in there.
I'm gonna piss my pants in there.
Do you need the bathroom?
Yes.
I'm okay.
Feel good?
Super relaxed.
Didn't piss in the bath?
No, but I forwarded in there.
Same here.
And
It kind of made me laugh.
It turned into a gas chamber to open it up.
That was the best one I've ever done.
Yeah?
I reckon. Yeah.
Why?
At one point, I just felt like I was like melting, like just sinking back into nothing. It was nice. Just
really?
continuously. Yeah, it was really cool.
You sometimes feel like you're in space.
Yeah, I do.
It's a good reset.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Good reset. Like, I'd highly recommend you guys just try one for that reset component, because it's like very hard to get that from anything else. And in the end, after doing this every other day, I noticed a difference in there. It was really nice to I look forward to getting in there, detaching, not needing to do anything else or not needing to be anywhere else was kind of nice. I enjoyed the quiet. It provided a nice little contrast from the day's busyness and hectic life that you get used to it. It's like when there's heaps of sounds in the background, you slowly get used to them and you never realize how loud it is until you step away and you get into a quiet room and you're like, whoa, that was loud. That's kind of what it felt like. And so experiencing that absence of stimulus was actually nice. And also it made meditation easier. So if you meditate, you might know how difficult it is to kind of get into it and quiet your mind a little bit. This is like jumping straight in the deep end of meditation. It forces you to do it. You have no choice. You just got to lie there. So I kind of like that about that, is that now when I meditate, that's way easier, because like 10, 20 minutes of meditation is nothing when you're sitting with nothing in your environment to distract you for 60 minutes. So overall, I think it provides a good sense of where your mind is currently at right now. Because if you get in there and you freak out and you can't handle a second alone, then maybe there's some work to be done there, but it's probably really good for you to try. But if you can get in there and realize, okay, what's important? Where does your mind go? Kind of notice that. I think it gets you better at just being introspective about feeling what's going on inside your body, like physically, and then also your mind and where your mind goes when there's nothing to distract it. So I really like that plan of attack moving forward for me. I want to do them at least once a fortnight. I think that will be a good level to kind of still let the benefits seep into my daily life in stress management, ability to handle stresses, ability to solve problems. For me, I did notice an increased ability in that. Usually when I get stressed, I cannot solve problems for shit. I'm like, and I just like freak out a little bit and it feels like I'm drowning. But in this, with all the water, I didn't feel like I was drowning at all. I felt excited about projects, not freaked out about it. So whether that's a coincidence, never know, but that is usually what you should expect to get out of these, is not just the benefits while you're in there, but increased benefits in your daily life. So I recommend you guys try this. Give this a go, see how you feel, and comment below your experience with sensory deprivation. I think this is something that could help us, and I think it's something you guys might enjoy. So that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys know what to do. You guys know what to do. You guys know that you should subscribe to my channel. Please. If you don't, now is your chance, and I will 100% forgive you. It's all good. But if you do, legend. I knew you would.